So I own a marketing agency, and we work with digital companies or companies that want to grow a digital product or a digital platform. I've got about 16 staff and another 10 contractors that report to me on a regular basis. So when I first brought Anton Jae into my company, we were struggling financially. We were probably our cash flow was really bad. It felt like we were not very far from being maybe bankrupt or having to change our business or change what we were doing. And my first impression was that they were going to bring clarity and certainty to what felt like a lot of chaos. Yep, I had worked with other organizational consultants or people for several years, and I view each one as a little bit of a graduation in a school. So the first one that I worked with was very elementary and just taught me super simple things about business that were required, and I still use lots of the things that he taught us or taught me. And then the next one was far more in depth and had more business experience, but had only owned a couple of businesses, and so had the experience of owning a couple businesses and helped me move on. And then at the point that I brought Anton Jae in, I needed somebody who had a lot more experience than I did. Anton Jae taught me to think at a much higher level than the previous consultants had. The previous consultants still got into far more of the weeds and the details than Anton Jae did. And Anton Jae gave me something that I had been looking for years, and that is a framework with which to run a business. I've always had the belief that every business should have some core things that are the same about it and that there's some sort of a framework, but I didn't know what the framework was. I've read a collection of books. I'm an avid reader, as you can see behind me, and so I've read a lot of books, and I had always been looking for, give me a framework that I can solve my own problems with as a business owner. And that's what Anton Jae seemed to have, and now having been through their processes and worked with them, they definitely do. Absolutely. I would recommend Anton Jae to people that are willing to grow, people that are willing to take their business to the next level, and people that are willing to kind of break open and move up and elevate. And if you are interested in being right or being stuck, it's probably not a good fit for you. But if you're willing to have your boundaries pushed and somebody who is willing to fight for you and beside you and teach you and give you the raw, honest assessment of where you're at, then they're a good company. So cash flow was one of the bigger problems. We were having a hard time closing deals, and then the money, we were closing we were having a hard time closing deals, but we were also having a hard time keeping the cash flow in what felt like an organized manner, and not being certain of, did we have the right people in the right positions, and did they know what they were supposed to be doing? And so it felt like it was just bleeding cash is how it felt, because I didn't have the right people in the right positions. So after working with the Anton Jae team, I was able to see costs I could cut, ways I could maybe reorganize the team and then give them different roles and responsibilities. It freed me up a lot as a business owner as well, to not be stuck doing work that I didn't want to do or I just simply shouldn't be doing, because I learned how to turn things over to my team more. The deep dive specifically, the biggest takeaways were the clarity in the direction and more clarity about what we should stop doing. And the biggest one for me was the ability to think bigger than I had ever thought before, in terms of looking forward 18 months, what could we do for revenue and size and serving clients, and what would it take to get there? It seemed a lot more attainable after those 3 days than it ever had before. So on a personal level, I have a lot more freedom. I have a lot more comfort. I know where my business is. I know where, what's working and what's not. I know how to solve problems when I need to. I have support when I need it. If there's just simply I need to have a chat with someone and figure out the next best step, there's somebody there for me. And on a revenue basis, where I'm far more profitable, as well as the top line went up, but it's more interesting to see the bottom line percentage stay higher than it is to see just the top line go up. Yeah, after the 3 days, I had several specific things I needed to go and do. It was a 90-day plan, which was nice. It wasn't this long thing that was hard to execute. It was some specific things to do in the next 90 days. And once that was done, working on a regular basis, then I was able to see what to do next, but it was nice to have. the action steps of what I and my team needed to do. I did, yeah. I worked with him I did. Absolutely, it's worth the time all day long, because that's more important than the money for most entrepreneurs, right? 3 days is important. It's nice to take 3 days out and just focus on your business and focus on your vision and get out of the weeds and the minutia and all of the noise that can sometimes exist for business owners. And the money was absolutely worth it. It was recouped in savings, more sales, more clarity. And frankly, when you have peace of mind as an entrepreneur or business owner, you sleep better, you've got more energy, and the more energy and sleep you have, the more you can create more. So right away it turned around. You know, the dollar value of the deep dive, there was a couple of very specific changes that happened within my business that Anton Jae made, or helped us have clarity about what needed to be different, my leadership team and I. And one of them specifically saved me from a lawsuit that would have been $400,000 or $500,000. So that alone paid for the $25,000 of the deep dive. My advice for someone who's on the fence about whether or not you want to go with Anton Jae is sit down and decide what outcome you want or what results you want for the next 18 months of your life. And of your business, do you have the resources to get there, or don't you? And do you know what to do, or is it better to I guess I would say decide where you want to go. And if you want to go there fast and clear, then bring in somebody who knows more than you. And Anton Jae is that solution. I think if you're looking to hire Anton Jae, there's a few things that you have in common with the other people who've worked with Anton Jae. One is you've reached some sort of a level or a ceiling where you're not comfortable anymore. Another is you probably feel super duper alone. I know that as a business owner, I felt like nobody understood my problems, nobody understood my stresses and worries, and I felt very alone. And there were times where I just wanted to call somebody who knew enough about my business, they could give me contextual advice, and enough about business in general that they could solve any problem I had. And that's hard to find with somebody who has actual business experience. There's lots of business coaches out there that went and took a coaching program and then they're now teaching business, but they don't own businesses. So they don't have the context they don't have the experience, right? It's much better to learn from someone with experience. So I would say if you feel alone and if you feel like maybe you need that support, that the Anton Jae team is a super good resource.